5.
Okay.
If I'm getting close to 15, let me know.
Okay.
When were you ever?
Alright. Number 1. What do I do to simplify this? What numerator? Is there anything to do with the numerator? Don't say no, because there is. Take out a 4, and what's left over? The denominator is a difference of what? Squares. So it should be remember, we're recording so we can hear everything that you say. Alright. So, can I simplify this further, first off?
Yes.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take out an x plus 3.
I can take out the x plus 3, right? But before I do that, I have to find my domain.
Restriction.
So x can't equal what?
Plus 3 or minus 3.
So that's why I have to find my domain first. So my domain is what? Start with who?
Negative infinity.
Negative infinity. Who do I come to first? Negative 3 or 3?
Negative 3.
And then union. Negative 3. What's my second stop in my domain train?
Negative 3, positive 3.
To positive 3. And then union 3. And I can finish up at infinity. Alright. Now, the whole. We are finding the whole. The whole is going to be an ordered pair. X comma y. Okay? Listen to me carefully. You know you have a whole if you can get rid of factors, okay? Or if you can eliminate a factor, all right? So I know I have a whole because this simplifies further, right? I can get rid of that x plus 3 over x plus 3, okay? Now, that is going to tell me the x value of my whole. If I am getting rid of x plus 3, so if I set x plus 3 equal to 0, how do I solve for x? So what is the value of x when my whole is x plus 3? It is what?
Negative 3.
So that's the x value of my whole. Okay? So if it was x minus 1, the x value of my whole would not be minus 1, it would be positive 1, right? If my whole was x minus 14, my x value of my whole would be positive 14, okay? Now, to find the y value, let's simplify it further. What's left over once I took that out that x plus 3? We're left with 4 over x minus 3, okay? If you have a whole, this is the rational you are looking at for every single characteristic after, okay? Do you hear me? So if you have a whole, this is the guy I'm looking at for the rest of every single characteristic 2 through 8, okay? Now, how would I find the y value?
Plug in
Say that for me, Leanne, a little bit louder.
Plug in negative 3 for x.
Beautiful, because when you plug it in for x, you get out your what?
Denominator.
F of x is just a famous way for saying y, right? Or fancy way for saying y. So when you plug it in, you get out your y. So Leanne is saying everywhere that I have an x, I'm going to put in what? Negative 3, because that is my what? That's my x, right? So once I solve for this, I will get my y, okay? So I'm going to show you a quick way to do this on your calculator to make sure that you simplify your fraction correctly, okay? So I can go to my calculator. Let me get out of my graph. How do I bring up a fraction on my calculator? What do I hit? Alpha, y equals, and then enter. So what's in the numerator? It was 4, right? And then the denominator, I have the negative 3 minus. So the y value, it simplifies it and does all the adding and subtracting for me. The y value of my whole is what? Negative 2/3. So my whole is at the point negative 3 comma negative 2/3.
Can you reduce it or no?
Negative 2/3? No, that's why I said if you put in your calculator, it will give you the reduced form of it.
Okay.
Okay? So, to find the x value of your whole, it's the opposite of whatever I eliminate. And to find the y value, you plug it into what's left over. That will give you the y value of your whole, okay? Alright, let's do one more example on number 3. Somebody factor this one for me. Tell me what's my numerator going to factor to be? Oh, look at y'all doing your difference of squares. X plus 6, x minus 6, right? Over what? 3 on the outside and left with x. So am I going to have a whole is my question for you.
Yes.
Because what factor is going to get rid of? Negative 6. So boom, I can automatically tell you guys what's going to be the x value of my whole if I'm getting rid of x minus 6. It's going to be what kind of 6? Positive 6. Okay? But should I have done that first to find my domain? No, I really shouldn't have, right? I got to find domain before I simplify, right? Because if I get rid of him, do I know what my domain restriction is anymore?
No.
No. So let me go back a little bit. What would x not equal if I didn't get rid of that?
6.
Would I have a 0 with this 3?
No.
No, he doesn't have a
X.
x. So the only domain restriction I have is 6. So let's find domain. I only have one stop on my domain train. So starting at the station of negative infinity, I'm going to be my first stop on and only stop on my train is going to be what? 6, right? That's my only domain restriction. Then union, what to what?
6 to positive.
6 to infinity. I only had one stop, so I can end at infinity.
Okay.
See why it's so important to find domain restrictions before you simplify? You don't want to lose that domain restriction. There will always be one. Okay? Hear me? There will always be one. Alright, so what's left over, now that I've done the x minus 6, what's left over that I've taken it out? We got f of x is equal to x plus 6 over what? 3. So, my x value of my whole is 6, so what am I plugging in for x? 6 plus 6 over 3. I could probably do this in my head, but I'm going to show you another time how your calculator will simplify it. Alpha y equals, enter, 6 plus 6 over, what was it, 3? Would give me what? So my whole is at the point 6 comma what?
4.
YouTube. We got our whole and we got our domain. Those are our first two characteristics so far. They keep building on each other, okay? So you can't do one without doing the others. Alright? We good?
Yeah.
Alright, y'all try number 2 while I upload this. Y'all try number 2. And then we are going to do our last characteristic for today.
Yay.
Wow, don't be